Hello, everyone, and thanks for checking out the LAAGcast. It is December 7th, 2018, and we got a pretty good show for you today, I think. My name is Max Williams. With me, as always, is my co-host, Sam Richards. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing well.
Excellent. So, let's get right into it.
Sounds good.
So this week we watched the third episode of Netflix's Castlevania.
Right.
So that's 2 episodes in a row with no Dracula whatsoever.
No Dracula.
We are just following the exploits of Trevor Belmont.
Trevor, right.
Yeah,
Good
and
plan to call him Kevin.
Kevin. All these damn Belmonts. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was another strongly anti-church episode of this anti-church show by the famously anti-church Warren Ellis.
Yeah, very, very much.
But we got a great performance from Matt Frewer, Max Headroom.
The head priest.
As the head priest who gave a fiery speech about how he's a real true believer. You know, he really believes the spiel, and he really believes that if they kill all the heretics, they can stop this demonic invasion.
Right. The reason the last priest failed was he wasn't enough of a believer.
Right, exactly. And of course, this was the guy who engineered the burning of Dracula's wife, so all of this shit is his fault.
Yeah.
He'll get a good comeuppance, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a good villain. He's fun.
We had a pretty cool fight with the stone-eyed Cyclops.
The stone-eyed Cyclops in the castle, in Dracula's castle.
Like, that has to be a boss from one of the games, right? Like, maybe even just a regular enemy.
If it's not just like a regular enemy, yeah. I feel like, you could be running into Cyclopses and just mowing them down.
Right, don't get hit, it turns you to stone. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, no, that was a good fight. And Belmont, he said after the fight he wasn't sure he'd be able to kill that Cyclops, but the way he was wielding his sword and whip...
Yeah, during the fight it didn't seem like the Cyclops had too much of a chance when the dude is able to, like, throw his sword into the air, spinning in a certain way so that he can run up a statue and jump into the air and deliver a soccer kick to the sword at exactly the right point.
Throw it into the air. Use his whip to launch his sword into the air and spin it so that he can jump up and kick it right into the Cyclops' eye.
Yeah, no,
it's too good.
Yeah, he is a little overpowered right now. Like, and that's why later in the episode when the church does send its guys to come and get him, and it's like 20 guys around him and archers up in the building. In the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking like, well, is he going to try to take these guys? He might just try to take these guys.
He'll probably take out the whole town.
I mean, eventually he kind of does.
Yeah.
He has a little prep time for that one, but yeah, when it does turn into Trevor Belmont versus the city itself for the last 5 minutes.
Real quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got everything figured out. He's got the oil leaking in the right place so he can crowd control. Yeah, it's good stuff. And I love the church-themed weapons that the evil priests wield.
Oh, yeah. Like
they're crucifix knives.
Oh, man.
Like, it's so over-the-top comic book video gaming.
It really is. Though it still manages to remind me of Metalocalypse and Hellsing, the anime. And there was one that you mentioned this time. I can't remember. It was a live-action thing that's very similar. I can't remember what it was, so I wish it was coming to me, but it's not, so let's move on with that.
Oh, I mentioned it while we were watching it?
Yeah.
Ooh, I wish I could remember what that was then.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, yeah, it is like that. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, good stuff. And I don't remember how many episodes. I think it might be like 6 episodes or something. I don't know how much.
Game of Thrones. I hope it becomes a little bit more Game of Thrones. If we meet some more Belmonts and then Trevor ends up like dying, that'd be pretty cool.
Right, Game of Thrones. I mentioned that because Trevor's cloak, like he's 100% wearing a Night's Watch outfit.
Right, he's got Jon Snow's cloak.
Like besides also kind of having Jon Snow's general demeanor and kind of Jon Snow's hair. He's literally like a 50-50 Jon Snow Squall Lionheart.
Yeah. Yeah, cross belts and whatnot.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
So yeah, we'll keep watching that. Moving on to our other weekly show of the moment, Star Trek Discovery. Civis Possum Parabellum is the name of this episode.
Yeah. Did you look up what it means in Latin or anything at any point? Because I didn't.
I didn't. Let's look it up ourselves right now.
All right. Tippity type. typity type.
Everyone can hear my mechanical keyboard. If you want peace, prepare for war.
Oh. I would have liked that better as a title.
Right? Did somebody say it during the episode and we just missed it? I don't think so.
Well, who knows?
So overall, this episode starts great. The opening with the battle where Discovery is the only ship that can get there in time to save the Gagarin, the Federation ship that's under attack from the ugly Klingon birds of prey. What'd you say they look like? Cylon Raiders?
They look like Cylon Raiders.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate, but it's hilarious during that sequence. It's 100% the writers all in the writers' room realized that they'd gone through, 7 episodes of this show, and they had not identified all of the bridge crew cast by name yet, because Lorca says everybody's name in this episode.
He does.
Right? we met Reese, we met Detmer, we met Owesekun, Owesekun, and Mr. Price. He's the only one who isn't named during the earlier battle.
Right, but he is named later.
But he is named. He's named at the end. They got them all in. Very entertaining. I definitely appreciate that. I like that the war is turning because now the Klingons have cloaking technology.
Yep.
Right, we're seeing the cloaking technology being developed, and it's a problem for Starfleet, and it's very Axanar.
Clearly, the only thing that could beat cloaking technology, which allows the Klingons to pop up anywhere and attack, is Discovery's thing of being able to pop up anywhere and attack through teleportation.
Right, and the funny thing is, at the end of the war, the Klingons get to keep their game-breaking technology, but Spore Drive is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. We got some fun Stamets as he's losing touch with the reality he's in. He calls Tilly Captain when he comes out of the spore chamber this time.
Yes, he does.
And he gets real defensive when Tilly tries to approach him about these things.
Yeah, and then he becomes more of his old self.
Right. Turns into more standard bitchy Stamets.
Yeah, that is good stuff. Then we get to the planet, though. Pavo. Yes. Home of the Pavo.
It's a very Star Trek-y plot when you think about it.
It is.
The whole chunk with them meeting the alien species, which is a really cool, weird alien energy thing that lives in symbiosis with the planet. And the way Saru talks to it, and he identifies himself as a first contact specialist, so we get to see some cool first contact stuff.
Yes, we do.
And we see him slowly and obviously getting seduced by the signal from the forest.
Right, which it totally just brainwashes them.
Yeah, it's very classic Trek in a way. And it does lead to the great shot later of Saru running at like 80 miles an hour through the forest.
Yeah, all those shots are funny.
That's fantastic. Let's see, but let's go back a little bit to the transmitter. The whole idea of the planetary transmitter. How stupid is the plot of this episode? Like, what their plan is.
I know. I tried to think of it like, would they try this in a different Trek? Use a planet as a signal amplifier across vast distances, and like probably not in the manner that they use it here, where they think it's going to change, the outcome of the entire war. I mean, that's really vast distances for transmission from any planet.
Yeah, you telling me that the Federation in that time frame can come up with a technology that's going to allow a radar based on a planet many light years away to be effective and they can't talk to Voyager hundreds of years later, in another quadrant? It's beyond stupid. And
Right.
Burnham gets real concerned about, once we found there was life forms here with this, we have to be real careful about attracting the Klingons to this planet because they may kill the life forms. Whether or not the life forms were there, the Klingons were at some point going to be, all we have to do is go to that planet and take that thing out. That's the thing.
The thing that's sending that signal.
Right? We can triangulate based on how long it takes the Federation ships to break through our defense screens, and figure out exactly. We can triangulate where this planet is and go there and figure, it's going to be so obvious.
Right.
The Federation knew that this spire there would do that without ever going to the planet, so the Klingons will easily be. It's so half-baked.
Right. It kills suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's the most important thing in Star Trek is their ability to make you believe.
Now, a more important question, one I didn't ask during the episode. When they're in that alien hut that they're in for a chunk of it, there's that like coffee table in there with some crystals in the middle. Were those crystals changing color based on the mood of the conversation? Because I swear they were blue when everybody showed up and was peaceful. But then when Saru was evil and brainwashed and crushing their communicators, it was red crystals in the middle of the table.
Huh.
But I may just be making that up.
I wasn't paying any attention to the crystals, so I don't know.
Right.
A different question pops up to me at this time, though I didn't really think about during the episode, but was that a Starfleet hut? Or did they just find that hut? Because it didn't seem like the energy beings that coexist with the planet and like live as part of its energy needed a hut.
There's no way that was a Starfleet hut with like a Starfleet crystal coffee table in the middle, and no chance. What the hell are those teepees doing?
Right.
Those aliens are super friendly and they want to be connected to others. They're explorers, but they connect to others by bringing them to their world. So maybe they set up a little reception area for alien species, because they themselves realized that most of the species that would show up would be bipedal standard Trek aliens.
Yeah, that's a fair explanation. Or those were their original huts before they transcended, and they have just maintained them over the years for that purpose, even if they didn't build them as energy beings.
All right, yeah. I think that both of those
It could be answered.
They just chose not to. It would have been so easy. Like, even if they weren't going to answer the question, just to have the characters be like, "Oh, why is the structure here?"
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything else I wrote down that's interesting. Oh yeah, Burnham brings up that once the war's over, I'm going to go back to prison.
Right.
Which is one of the least likely things to happen that a main character could say is going to happen, ever to be spoken on TV. Like, nobody thinks Burnham's going to go to prison. I mean, we've seen the whole season, but when we first watched this...
Oh, yeah, of course not.
Burnham going back to prison, like, that's some artificial drama.
Yeah, well, she probably would believe it.
Let's see. I did write down that Tyler is good at diversion because he will lure the person he's diverting into, like, a soulful conversation about ethics in order to...
Right, I'm real messed up.
Right, like, I'll act like I really need you to talk to me. So that you'll talk to me.
He did do a really good job.
Yeah, that might be the most effective I've ever seen him do anything that only he could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, let's see. Oh, Ariam. That's the other bridge member that gets named near the beginning. Ariam's the one who looks like they might be a robot.
Ah, yes.
Let's see. How about when the creature teleports Tyler to the beacon at the end?
That's real fun. Nobody even mentions anything about it. It's just suddenly, boom, he's here.
It's so hand-wavy. These things are like early Q, like with their level of what they can just do. Like, let's just materialize this guy to this other place. Like,
That's no problem. No problem at all for them.
But despite the fact that they may have built these huts for either themselves before they ascended and therefore became very wise, or for others to come because they were very friendly, they have no real sense of self-preservation, because at the end they're like, let's just bring them dangerous Klingons here that we know all about because we read Saru's mind.
Yeah, they are silly. I don't really know what else to say about that other than that, I guess they're like, oh, peace, we must encourage conflict to bring peace.
Right.
We are aliens.
If you want peace, prepare for war, but they aren't prepared for war.
It doesn't seem like they are. I don't really remember what happens with them. I think the Federation just fights the Klingon after this.
It's a big, stupid Deus Ex Machina that just gets the Discovery and the main Klingon ship there for next episode, so that next episode can be the battle.
Right, about that.
Which, I mean, from what I remember, the battle is dope as hell.
Yeah, probably. All the battles are pretty good. And
this is us leading up to our moment of truth also. Because if we go according to our plan, after the next episode is when we will now go back and watch the Battle of the Binary Stars and slot it in, thinking of it as a flashback.
Right.
So it's moment of truth time coming right up.
Yes, we will see.
All right, so I would say an episode with good highs, but also sort of flat at spots. Like, there's some good stuff. The battle is fun. Saru is a genuine threat that you feel, and it's cool to see how strong he is and how fast he is, and to like see him be a first contact specialist. It's really probably the best Saru episode.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, you don't really get information about his backstory, but you learn a lot about his physicality and the kind of person he is outside of just being real sore at Burnham all the time.
Right, that's true. Before now, he's just been the one-liners.
Yes, yeah, we haven't had a good Saru bird in like 2 episodes. I miss it.
I feel like there was a pretty alright one at the beginning of this one, but maybe I'm wrong.
Not one that made me laugh and say, there he is.
No, that's true.
I'll get the air horns out.
Saru. That was pretty good.
Alright, so we're going to move on to our episode traditional list. We are listing characters from Final Fantasy. Currently we have 32 characters on the list. Number 1 is still Barrett Wallace.
Yeah, we're probably coming up on pretty close to the end of the character ranking list.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting through a good chunk of the good ones anyway. Damn Final Fantasy 6 though.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so moving to the list you provided me, I am excited about the idea of talking about Vivi, one of the best characters in any Final Fantasy game.
No, Vivi's awesome.
I don't know if there's... And so Vivi is the black mage from Final Fantasy IX. He's a little doll who's been given a temporary soul and who has a short lifespan.
Yeah.
And Vivi, like, I hate to use this millennial language, but that character might give the most feels of any character in any Final Fantasy game. He's so tragic.
He is so tragic. It's a very sad story overall because of his innate being a animated doll.
An automaton.
Yeah. I mean, he feels, and he doesn't know really what he is at the beginning. And you learn it throughout the game, and it just gets sadder and sadder as you learn that he's probably not going to live out, his 8th year.
Right, and he is like an 8-year-old. He's a kid, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And he's going through the stuff, the events of the game, and everything that happens in that game is pretty difficult. It's dark stuff.
He has to kill all his brothers.
Yeah, and won't even speak to him because they're not smart.
Right. They don't have souls the way he does. Yeah, no, Vivi, he's great, and you always want him in your party because that black magic in Final Fantasy IX, man. Like, once you get it rolling with the double casting and all that, he's.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd always hated how his floppy hat spikes up into a tall point during his trance mode, though.
Yeah, the trances aren't the prettiest thing for any of them. But, he does have that sword magic with Steiner, which is super awesome.
Ooh, I love that when characters team up like that.
Yeah. I think that's like almost the only bit of that you get in Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, it doesn't really come back hard until 15 again, does it?
15.
Aren't people powering up other people's weapons in 15, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, you can spec into that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think the place to start this is, do we like Vivi more or less than Zidane, the main character of that game?
Yeah, I think so. Zidane is cool, but he's not the best character of that game, and Vivi is...
he's the heart.
He's the heart.
He's 100% the heart of that game.
Yeah.
Alright, well, next up on the list is Cypher, the deuteragonist of Final Fantasy VIII. That's an interesting comparison because they're so opposite.
They are so opposite.
I gotta give it to Vivi.
Alright, I'll go with that.
What about Edgar from 6?
Edgar. I think I like Edgar more. Edgar is just so awesome.
Alright, I like Edgar. We can do that. So coming in at number 6, very high on the list, that's Vivi the Black Mage. Alright, next, let's just talk about Cloud Strife.
Cloud Strife.
Is Cloud the most badass main character from a Final Fantasy?
That's interesting, because considering everything that happens to him in the game, does it make him more or less badass to find out that he's dull and he's being controlled by Sephiroth because he's a Sephiroth clone? They're both cloned from Genova, and nothing that he does in the beginning is really anything that he wants.
The question is it badass for somebody who's actually lame to be tricked into thinking they're cool, find out that no, you're actually lame, but then live up to all the promise of the cool you.
That is true.
It's like if somebody, like if Reginald Barkley was all confident because he was in a holodeck program, and then he found out he wasn't in the holodeck program anymore, and that it's actually the real situation, and he's just normal Reg Barkley, but then he still manages to single-handedly shut down a Borg cube.
Right.
Just like he does in that Voyager episode, when he's made himself the hero of everyone.
Man, yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm gonna say that, yeah, overcoming those odds and having such a complete comeback story where you do defeat the evil.
Because Cloud is batshit crazy.
Oh yeah.
He has a nervous breakdown and leaves your party for an extended period on disc 3 of that game, and you find him and he's like delirious in a wheelchair and a medical gown. Like, what game does that with the main character?
Yeah. No, it gets pretty crazy.
Now, I guess attached to the badass question, though, is does Cloud have the most iconic weapon in Final Fantasy history?
Yeah, it might be the most iconic video game sword of all.
I like the Gunblade a lot. Like, personally, I would take a Gunblade over a Buster Sword.
Well, sure.
But man, that Buster Sword, that's just iconic. And anytime you see that sword in anywhere else, like them riffing on it, it's always like, oh yeah, that's that Buster Sword.
Yeah, it's the classic original.
So
it's badass.
The visual design, his semi-Super Saiyan hair, the
muscles,
armor on one shoulder. What do you mean? Don't you mean lack of muscles? That dude is like thin. He's mighty.
Yeah, and all the like nice pictures of him, but when you get down to the actual gameplay graphics, his arms are like, well, they're all super beefy.
Yeah, they all have Popeye arms.
They all have Popeye arms.
All right, Cloud. Well, I like Cloud more than Zidane or Cypher.
Do you like him more than Barrett?
No.
No?
I like Barrett more than Cloud.
Interesting.
I actually, because Cloud does have weaknesses.
He does.
And the question is Ignis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ignis is such a good character. He's so noble. He's so loyal. So Ignis is, imagine if Samwise Gamgee was an incredible strategist, and along with being an amazing cook, which he is.
Yeah. And if Samwise Gamgee like sacrificed something about himself that he loved the most, like if Samwise Gamgee had to sacrifice his ability to be a gardener for the rest of his life in order to get everything good.
If Samwise Gamgee had to put on the One Ring for a second at some point during the quest in order to protect Frodo in some way.
He does.
He doesn't put it on, does he?
No, he does. After during
Shelob.
the whole Shelob thing, he puts on that ring, and it is heartbreaking.
Wow, I hadn't thought about it this much before, but it really is very similar to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I can't rate Cloud above Ignis.
Yeah. But I do like Cloud more than Waka.
I agree.
All right, Cloud coming in at a solid number 3.
Man, that is weird. He is a lot like Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah. They're the noble Japanese versions. All right, so next on this list, let's do Terra from 6, because we got to get through these 6s, man.
Terra from 6.
Terra is very good.
Terra's a good character, and most of the plot revolves around Terra, which makes her very important.
She is, in my opinion, the main character of 6.
I agree.
Yeah.
You start as her. It's her. You even, similar to Cloud, lose her for a little bit in the game when she realizes what she is and becomes a I don't know monster.
Does she become an Esper?
Esper, that's it. She becomes an Esper and goes and hides on the mountain, and you have to go get her. Right,
very much so. Yeah. But honestly, she's kind of like a not super interesting character.
The problem of her not having too much of a personality.
Which 6, if they don't establish her personality strongly, it's tough. Because everybody gets so little time in 6 because there's 20 characters.
But then you get characters who do have a personality. Locke, Sabin, Celeste, Edgar. and it works.
So I do. So looking at the list, I think that I'm looking right around Shadow for her because I do think she's better than Shadow.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she's better than Lulu from Final Fantasy X.
Nope.
Yeah.
I can't say she is.
So right around the middle of the list at number 16, we're doing Terra. And last, let's knock out the other 6 on this list, and that is Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. And man, in the list of Final Fantasy villains, Kefka, he's up there, man. That dude is hilarious. He's a clown. He's a court jester.
He's a court jester.
But he's also the Joker.
He's the Joker, right? He's the best villain clown other than the Joker.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that in fiction.
Yeah.
Kefka, man, he's got the sound effect that they do in this pre-voice acting time, but when he's like,
oh right, that one. That one's good too.
And the way the little sprite laughs.
Oh yeah.
Kefka, fantastic.
He's very animated.
Yeah.
And then you fight him in battle, and it's like, whoa, he's like this painted up, hooked nosed jester, like flowery,
real ostentatious, like almost like geisha style out.
Yeah, or like powdered wig of old Britain.
Right. Yeah, it's this weird like confluence of East and West and clown.
Yeah.
That is, it's just delightful, and he is spectacular, and I do think he's better than Sid Highwind.
Yeah.
What about Zidane?
Yeah.
Cypher?
Yeah.
Ooh, Vivi.
No,
and I definitely not better than Edgar from this game.
No, Edgar's the best.
Alright, so Kefka comes in at number 8. This is a pretty high up their list. We put 3 people into the top 10 just now.
Yeah.
So, good one.
I had been saving some of the best.
Alright, excellent. So, that is it for this episode's rankings, and we will continue with that next week. And for now, we're going to take a short break and be right back with some comic reviews.
All right.
And we are back. Pretty solid comics week overall. So let's get right into it with issue 2 of Green Lantern by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp.
Ooh, starting strong.
Starting strong. So yeah, we start off with an appearance by the famous Totally Blind Green Lantern from the classic Alan Moore short story. Where this guy got selected to be Green Lantern, but couldn't figure out what to do because he didn't understand what green was or what a lantern was because his race is sightless. Oh. And so he had to work through basically a thought experiment until he could get to a place where they could make it find a sound equivalent. Because the sound is how he perceives the world, which is why in this issue he says that he's failed the order of the F-sharp bell. That's Green Lantern Corps for blind aliens that don't understand color.
Nice.
And I thought it was an interesting thing. I hope that this is on purpose because it's so very cool that his constructs are not green. When he makes this little white ball cage thing, which isn't shaped like any structure any person with sight would make for a cage, but I can see that. It's white energy because it's just gonna be. It's not green. You don't know green.
You don't know green.
Love that.
That's cool.
So 3 pages, and then we get the Green Lantern with a volcano for a head.
A volcano for a head.
And he is fantastic. He rumbles sometimes.
He rumbles his words out.
He rumbles them out. The big page of Oa, the Green Lantern headquarters, is this giant, crazy orgy of color and lines and way too much detail.
Way too much. Too many dark lines. It's like so much of it is hidden from us.
Right.
Yeah. Those dark lines.
Very sci-fi-ish. And then it's a straight cop show interrogation of the prisoner as the avian Green Lantern and Hal have no time for the spider pirate.
No. So it turns out to be a rich girl.
Right, a rich girl running away from home.
Running away from home.
Just wanting to be a pirate.
Yeah, this hideous spider thing.
So they do get some information out of it. Meanwhile, the escaped prisoner Evil Star is tracked down by the villains, the Black Stars, the guys who hired the Luckdahl Pirates in the first issue. But all of that apparently was just to get his power of his crazy star band. You okay, bro?
Yeah, sorry.
Wrong pipe?
Wrong pipe, yeah.
Do you want to take a sec?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, I don't want to, go blow by blow on the plot too much, but overall, very solid, good sci-fi. Leading up to an ending that I gotta say, very interesting to see this ending with the Earth disappeared so soon after Bendis did this in his Superman run.
Yeah.
They just did this.
Yeah, right. Grand Theft Earth.
Grand Theft Earth. Now, Hal's reaction, though, to Earth not being there is much, much better than Ray Palmer and his, weak little jokes.
What do I do?
Yeah, nah, Green Lantern knows what to do. Calling in.
Yeah, well, Space Cop wouldn't know what to do. Ray Palmer? Maybe not.
Maybe not. So, pretty good. I like it. I give it an 8. It wasn't a slam bang, here's everything, one like the first issue. Yeah. But real good, expertly drawn.
I agree, 8.
Looking forward to the next issue.
That's the right answer. Next up, we got issue 10 of The Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett.
Doing the Lord's work on this book right now.
My goodness. So this is Hulk v. the Absorbing Man.
Well, the Absorbing Man's horribly fricasseed corpse.
Right. In last issue, Absorbing Man basically tore himself in half from the inside, and now he's both halves of him going in either direction, and his skull and spine with fangs coming out the middle.
It's gross.
It's very gross.
It's very the thing.
And very, yes, very much the thing from outer space. And Deflated Hulk.
Deflated Hulk is so fucking funny.
Yeah, he still seems to be pretty strong.
He's more Frankenstein-y than ever now.
Oh, yeah. He is also gross.
With his, bicep skin, flapping in the wind as they're coming to fisticuffs.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god. So they get on fighting, and we got, what's the name of these guys' organization?
I don't remember. Shadow Base. I don't remember if they...
Oh, right, it's Shadow Base, and also the other one's Alpha Flight?
Gamma Flight.
Gamma Flight, of course, because it's Hulk. But we got Agent Burbank coming in.
That's this guy's name, Agent Burbank?
I believe this is Agent Burbank.
Agent Burbank, his hand is the gun. This happened before, right? Where he shot somebody when he stepped out of a car?
He did do this. He can turn, but it was a different gun at that time. He made a little handgun. He made a little handgun. This time he has made a sniper rifle, and he's up in the mountains watching the fight. Agent Burbank is creepy.
He can make a plethora of guns from his own flesh.
From his own flesh, and they're all fleshy. They're fleshy guns.
Yeah, it's a pink gun. It's got skin on it. It would probably have arm hair on it if you got close to it. It's gross.
Yeah. But he's just watching the fight as Hulk now is taking back Gamma as fast as it's getting taken out of him because the evil has been taken out of him and is now inside the Absorbing Man. And that's what's made him turn into this evil monster. It's something from somewhere else. It ain't it ain't Dr.
Banner?
Dr. Banner's dad.
Oh yeah, no, this demon. I really wonder what it's gonna be, what the hell is in this case. Is the green door something in the Hulk's mind? What we'll get to it. Finish here.
Yeah, well, Gamma Flight comes in, and just when they come in, that's the perfect time for Agent Burbank to shoot the Hulk.
Right in the eye.
Right in the eye.
That sucks. That's probably a gross skin bullet.
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah. I hope that guy doesn't have any STDs.
Well, Hulk would, yeah. No problem.
Never mind.
No problems there if it's the case.
Yeah.
Got the Hulk. But he blames it getting shot in the eye on Gamma Flight, of course, so he breaks their ship.
Fucking Walter. What are you even doing, Walter Lankowski?
Yeah, so no big problems. Until because of Gamma Flight, and those other organization guys being there and distracting the Hulk, the Absorbing Man is able to get to the original Gamma site where the Hulk was created.
And he pulls all the gamma out of the ground and air and everything.
Yeah, and in doing that opens the green door, or so they say, and everybody ends up in what Hulk says is hell.
Yeah. That's an issue of Hulk.
Yeah, I would also give this one an 8.
Yeah, I got no complaints with that. And I wonder how they're going to... Because I don't think Absorbing Man's going to die, and it seems like he's there in the hellscape, like, fully intact.
Yeah.
So I feel like his body's going to get somehow restored, and, because, man, geez, like, the thing he is now is... Like, with the way it sometimes looked like the two halves of the face were actually its arms.
Right, yeah. In fact, that when it would speak, part of it would come out of one mouth and then part out of the mouth on the other side.
Yeah.
As he's saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just superlative work. I think 8 is the right score for this comic. I'm very much looking forward to the next issue.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to one of the new issue, or I think this is the only issue one of the week. Oh no, there isn't. One of the new issue ones for the week.
Yep.
The first issue of Prodigy by Mark Miller and Raphael Albuquerque. This was an interesting one because first it heavily suffers from the I'm definitely trying to be a pitch for a TV show syndrome.
Yeah.
Because this dude is like 100% in the vein of the Sherlock type main character.
Right,
but it's
right,
like
Sherlock, definitely.
I would describe this character as BBC's Sherlock crossed with Buckaroo Banzai, because besides being an insufferable genius who with a mind palace that he can use to solve complex problems within his own brain while multitasking,
Yeah.
he's also an internationally recognized celebrity who will simultaneously perform daredevil stunts, crazy operations, play 6 games of chess at once, and assist the world's governments in diverting giant asteroids away from the planet.
Right.
So this dude is like the most perfectly constructed, genius, amazing daredevil character.
Right, for everyone to love.
It's so blatant that it's tough to get mad at. Because every inch of it is 100% on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, we are setting this character up, and that's where, therein lies the rub. Because Mark Miller has given himself the genius problem in fiction, where if you're going to write a character like this, you better bring it. Because you have to think of the things that are smart enough for this character to think of. Right. You know what I mean?
The age-old question, can you write a character smarter than yourself?
Can you write a character smarter than yourself? Miller has done it on a smaller scale in the past, but this one is set up to be so over the top. And to further the Buckaroo Banzai connections, it seems like the threat has something to do with creatures from another dimension that are arriving via car-based interdimensional travel vehicles.
Yeah.
To me, it has to be on purpose. There's no way this isn't a direct reference to... Like, it's too many parallels to me. Like, am I seeing things in nothing here? Like, you've seen Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
No, that's true. I didn't think of it at the time, but yeah, the whole 8th dimension, creatures from the 8th dimension, you go inside of something else. Yeah. The interesting thing to me is that this invasion, I mean, they keep sending people, and, the thing that this reminded me of a lot was Fringe.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that they keep sending over different things, different animals, and eventually humans, but they all come over dead. But they must not know
that they're coming over dead.
That they're coming over dead.
If they start sending humans after they've been sending animals.
Right, and they didn't send any animals that survived. They all came out burnt to a crisp.
Right.
and the humans, too.
So, yeah, at some point they were like, well, we're not getting any data back from the animals. I thought the art was real solid. Raphael Albuquerque previously hasn't been one of my favorites because he's had a very loose style, that I don't have any examples of here. But I thought that this was very tightly illustrated, and I really enjoyed it. I liked the color palette, too.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it looked really good. This style, to me, doesn't always look the best when they're going for like that amount of realism.
Right.
But because, in large part, because of the color palette, I think it really does work here.
Yeah, no.
And because it's kept very simple. It's not so detailed. It's trying to look real, but not overdoing it.
Right. And of course, this was produced. This is the latest book in Mark Miller's deal with Netflix. So we may actually see this one as a show. Notice the giant back page.
I did notice the giant back page, and I did wonder, yes.
Yeah. Like this one, Magic Order. Remember that Harry Potter one?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was another one that's was developed as part of this Netflix doing comics deal. So we may see all of these as TV.
Maybe I'll enjoy the Magic Order more.
Yeah.
As a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Did you give that a rating?
I think it's, we didn't rate it. I'd give this a 7.
A 7?
It's
I agree with that.
Good enough to buy more.
Right. Standard, this is good, and I'm interested.
Yeah. Well done. Batman.
Okay, next we have Batman by,
Tom King?
Tom King. I couldn't remember his first name.
Yeah.
And, Janin.
But Tom King, Mikhail Janin, but the person I want to mention, Jorge Fornes. Now this book, well, I'll let you go through the plot in a second.
Yeah.
But it does the art jam thing where one artist handles like one section, another artist handles another.
Right.
Usually they split pages. This one actually has them, splitting panels. Sometimes you'll have a page that has some of one artist and some of another.
Interesting.
And this guy Fornes, the way he's drawing Batman is so David Mazzucchelli in Batman Year One. I love it. I wish he illustrated this whole issue. No harm on Mikhail Janin, who is an excellent artist. I really like their art. But this dude Fornes, like that's the way I want Batman. Like the way he draws the short cowl. It's that's the way I want Batman to look, dude.
This is a good-looking Batman.
Yes. So, continue.
Yeah, well, I mean, this issue is an issue of Batman punching his way through the recently released criminals of Arkham, just punching his way through them, asking them about Bane. They all say the same thing. Bane just, he hides in the corner and cries every night.
Yep.
And Commissioner Gordon tracking Batman's doings and not being at all pleased with him.
Right, basically the reports are coming in from each of these guys that Batman's going after, and Jim Gordon's getting madder and madder.
Meanwhile, the Penguin, blindfolded, is being taken care of by Alfred, who are sharing poetry.
They're sharing poetry, and I mean, they don't blatantly say it in the conversation, but it definitely... I think we definitely got confirmation that Penny was a bird.
Yes, Penny is a penguin.
And and it seems like Penny was, like, I don't know if they're doing anything, but I think they were sleeping in the same bed.
It was his wife.
He did say that, didn't he?
Yes, Penny was his wife. Penny the penguin was the penguin, Mr. Cobblepot's
and Alfred is feeding him raw, like, little slight like sardines, basically.
Yeah. Yum.
So we've taken a weird left turn into this is kind of Tim Burton's Penguin.
Yeah, no, definitely. I see Dan in the video right there.
So there's that happening.
Yeah, that's happening.
Jim Gordon grabs a bat, becomes the Batman, according to his hilarious coworker.
Right, he's the Batman now. That's about it. That's what happens in this issue.
Well, and then our last page reveal when Batman returns to the Batcave.
Right. And Alfred is wounded, and he sees evil Batman as Batman's father. I guess an evil Thomas Wayne dressed as a evil Batman.
He's not even supposed to be evil Batman. That's there was once this event called Flashpoint. That's how they ended the old DC universe and created the New 52 universe.
Yeah.
And but during the Flashpoint crossover, the twist of Flashpoint was that Bruce had been the one killed in the alley by the mugger, and so his father had become the Batman of the universe, and his mother became the Joker.
Ah, yeah.
And so this Thomas Wayne is from the supposed to be erased from the multiverse Flashpoint universe. I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe that's actually Bane in the costume. I don't know. I don't like that twist.
I think people are seeing things. Seems like people are seeing things at this point.
In the book?
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
Well,
it's passed in. It was in Penguin.
At the end of the wedding issue, when they showed like Catwoman going into Arkham and like bowing down to Bane and all the other villains that were gathered there, and the big twist, like Flashpoint Batman was there, like standing